Welcome back to TMZ Sports. I am your host, Mojo Mutati. Extra hype today because I'm here with a very good friend of mine, UFC fan favorite, Billy Q. Billy, what is up, brother? How we doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, Mojo. Thanks for having me, brother. It is always great to see you and just to be around you. And your energy is very contagious. So it's great to be here, man.
Brother, it's impossible not to be hyped up because I just watched your highlights again from UFC 282, where you had that second round knockout over Alexander Hernandez. Brother, my goodness, that thing was a bloodbath. The fans were losing their minds. Won you performance of the night. We saw some pretty gnarly pictures on your Instagram, man. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great, man. Yeah, you nailed it on the head, man. I was just going into that fight. I had a long layoff. I was injured. I was banged up. I had a lot of stuff going on. Had a baby a few months ago, so had a lot more pressure on me going into this fight. And it worked out perfectly, man. As a UFC fighter, you always want to go and not only put on a performance, but you want to go and you want to show up, get your show money, get your win money, and then if you can, get that bonus money. So I went out to Vegas, got my 3 checks, put on a show, got a couple stitches to take home with me, and I couldn't have asked for a better day.
Brother, them stitches, buddy, looking good. I was wondering what kind of condition your face was going to be in right now, but looking snazzy, brother. I tell you what, that knee that you threw in that fight made me not even want to fight MMA in my Oculus at home. It totally took me away from it. But yeah, you just said it yourself. You just had a kid with your wife, your lovely wife, Brianna, William. How did that affect your training for this fight? And did that have anything to do knowing you had a young man at home for this big comeback victory you had, allowed you to maybe hang in there a little longer, hit a little harder? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, leading up to the fight, it's just a whole different perspective going into it. I mean, it's not about me anymore. It's not about me and my wife. Now there is a literal human being that I need to provide for, and it's literally my new job in life is to provide everything I can for this baby. So it was just super motivating. The whole training camp, I had a really good training camp. I did everything right. I knew Alexander Hernandez is a veteran. He has fought nothing but killers. So I knew he was going to be a super tough fight. And going into the fight, I was willing to die in there and do whatever it took to get my hand raised. And obviously the first round, it was a good round. I landed some really big shots. I was kneeing his body like crazy. That was one of the game plans, just kind of wear his ass down, keep working the body, keep grinding away at him. And then in between rounds, when my coach was, kind of doing some mental training, he's asking me all kinds of questions. And he asked me when my son's birthday was. And I just thought for a second, I'm like, oh man, this isn't about you right now. This is about, the bigger picture. And it really motivated me just to get back out there and dig deep and put Alex away.
Well, this that kind of selfless behavior is something that you're very much known for. I remember earlier last year, both you and I hopped on a plane actually to go see the tornado victims out there in Paducah, Kentucky. Shout outs to our good friend John Chiarando for providing us with a plane to go out there. But you were in the middle of a fight camp then for that fight that you were going to have in July. Leg injury pulled you out of that one. But, I always thought that was such an unbelievable thing that you were in the middle of a fight camp, that you took a day off to fly out there and help those that were in need. This kind of attitude and just these things that you do, it's no question whatsoever why you're such a fan favorite in the UFC. So number one, thank you so much for all that you do. But I guess with this next question, everybody wants to know what's coming up for you next. You went out there, you won performance of the night after not having had a fight in 13 months, having a kid, having an injury. You went out there and absolutely killed it. You knew Dana White was going to be thrilled with that performance. What's next, brother? Where are we going?
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, that was what a trip that was, man. Just very eye-opening. And that was something that I've thought about a lot more since I've been in the UFC was, what do you want to be known as? It's not just about wins and losses and fights and that kind of stuff. It's really about what I could do with this platform and how much I could really give back. And if anytime John Toronto calls me, whatever he says, it goes. If he needs my help, if he needs to dig a hole for a body, I mean, I'll get my shovel and I'm heading over there. Johnny's my guy. But yeah, what's next? It's a great question. I'm super motivated. Like I said, as you know, I took a year off. I'm super healthy right now, even though my face is a little banged up. I'm ready to get right back to work. I just put out on my Instagram who the fans want to see me fight. I try to be a man of the people in every sense. And there's some big matchups that I really like. There's a guy named Edson Barbosa who's been fighting in the UFC forever. He's in the top 15 in the world. I think I'm definitely ready for a step up in competition. He's one of the guys that I would love to fight. There's a guy named Nate Landwehr. He kind of called me out wrestling style. He's like, Billy Q, I want him after his fight. So I might return the favor and smash his face in. I might dig my stitches out and go fight him. But there's a lot of options for me. We have a really stacked division. And these next 2 weeks, I'm going to recover. I'm going to enjoy time with my family for the holidays. But in the back of my mind, I know I want to have a really, really busy 2023.
All right, man. All incredible options. All would be very exciting. This next one's just a personal question for me. We've talked here a lot about you being a fan favorite. You like coming out to the cheers? Do they motivate you? Because in wrestling, I was a heel for a long time. I love the boos. I don't know. Knowing you as a friend, I feel like if you got booed walking into arena, you'd do fantastic in the octagon afterwards.
Yeah, man. So I mean, you know how it is, man. It's obviously a violent physical fight, but I am in the show business too. So if I had to go out to, like let's say I go to Brazil and fight Edson Barbosa, or if I don't even know where Nate Landwehr's from, but if I did have to go do a heel, I would embrace it, man. I just love the energy, whether it's they're cheering for me or they're booing for me. That was one reason. So my last fight was at Madison Square Garden. I was on the main card. There was a zillion fans. We blew up the place. This fight, I was on the prelims. So I was basically going back and forth with people saying like, come on, man, I'm not a prelim fighter. Like put me on the main card. I talked to Joe Rogan after. I said, this is it for the prelims. Come on, get me on the big card. I want the sold out crowd. I want people going crazy. I want that atmosphere. I grew up watching, the WWF and watching all that stuff. So I'm cool with it. Whether I got to be the good guy, whether I got to be the heel, I want to be true to myself. Like, so I can't go full, Colby Covington type style. But yeah, if someone brings it out of me, I have no problem turning the other cheek.
Well, as long as they're loud, it doesn't matter if they're cheering or booing. As long as they're not silent, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
I know you're a busy man. You got a young one at home now. So I saved my most important question for the last question. Brother, we've been friends a long time. What's up with this OnlyFans hat sitting next to you? What's going on there, pal? What's up?
Oh man, I like how you pre-framed that, Mojo. So yeah, we've been friends for a very long time. I didn't reach out to you to tell you to subscribe to my OnlyFans, but what had happened was a couple months ago, this company OnlyFans, who I've heard of, I've heard of them. They reach out to me and they reach out to my management team, and they're interested in sponsoring me. And I'm thinking, come on, guys, like what is this all about? Like, what are you trying to get me to do here? I'm a family man, And so I talk on the phone with them. I have a long conversation, but knowing what I already knew, I knew I got my friends like you and, Preston and all those guys who I had to explain this to, that I'm like, listen, guys, you guys need to, they gave me a number and I said, you got to give me more money, because every single one of my friends that I tell I got to have an OnlyFans account, I need to do this long explanation. It's going to waste a lot of my time. So basically what OnlyFans is doing now is they're signing fighters, they're signing artists, they're signing cooks, and they want to basically broaden their platform. And so what I'm using OnlyFans for is I did a bunch of vlogs for this last fight camp. So right now, if you go on there, it's a free subscription to all my friends, all my fans. It's completely free. You're not going to see any weird like nudity or like weird, rated X stuff. All it is my training videos. It's personal stuff that I wouldn't put on Instagram or like YouTube because it's kind of like behind the scenes. So this last training camp, I did a huge weight cut. I did a bunch of training sessions that I didn't really want to show to everyone, but we're building up a nice fan base on OnlyFans. And since they reached out to me and they're paying me, I'm building my little studio out, and it's going to be like an OnlyFans MMA room, and I'm going to get the content going, and I'm going to use them because they're on my team, so I'm going to support them. But yeah, they had to pay me a little bit more because I have this explanation. I've had to do it about 100 times so far with all my buddies who are asking for for unsolicited pics.
Well, everyone at home definitely needs to subscribe to Billy Q's OnlyFans.
It's free too. It's free.
It's free. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, the behind the scenes look at a fan favorite UFC fighter. Come on. Like, there's a lot of cool content that'll be on there. And if you don't, you're going to catch a knee to the solar plexus or wherever that landed that won you performance of the night at UFC 282. Billy Q, my good friend, thank you so much for joining us here on TMZ Sports. And we got to get you back after you win performance of the night yet again.
Let's do it, Mojo. I appreciate you having me, brother. Always great chatting with you.